actually is the lead play in our offense. Yes, our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet. Get an isolation with the linebacker. Tell the tackle to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here. And try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Packers Total Access pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. I'm joined alongside Carly live in Wisconsin. We got Jacob, the bearded wonder in Wisconsin as well, right there on the border of Minnesota Viking enemy territory. But how we feeling? I just want to test the waters right off the bat. Jen Wright in the chat, first of all, said, Matt Schneidman just reported, we should have inactives listed in about 5 minutes. Watson is taped up. Watson taped up hammy catching passes per Matt Schneidman. So he's out there testing it out. I've also got videos of Jair testing out his injury and everything earlier. Like I pointed out to Carly, it's kind of funny, Jacob. He was on the field at the same time the Dallas Cowgirls were warming up. I don't think that's a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what do you think, man? How you feeling? Jacob, we'll start with you. Go around the horn here.
Oh, man.
You're not nervous. You're not nervous.
I got my tummy's jumbling a little bit, man. I'm not going to lie. I woke up so confident. I've been confident this whole week. Went to brunch with the fellas, had a mimosa and ate some if you guys ever go to Big Guy's Barbecue, check it out. It's the best breakfast. I always try to plug that. It's so good. But I started getting really nervous, and I started getting that nervous, like I can't control my heartbeat kind of thing. And I used to be very nervous Packer fan. Like years ago, my family wouldn't watch it with me. They'd banish me down to the basement, and I'd have to just watch in silence and just scream and cuss at the TV. And I've learned how to bottle it a little bit over the last couple of years. And I thought I had it under control this season, but I feel like I'm buzzing, man. I feel like I'm ready to. I need to go do a lap or two because I got all the energy in the world right now.
Heck yeah, man. It's weird, man. I don't know if it's where this year I've spent more time than I ever have, kind of deep diving what's going on and everything behind the scenes. But I am not nervous at all. And I used to get the same way. I used to kind of have the jitters. I used to think too, like, how do these players do it, man? How do they get ready? Like, how do they keep from just freaking out on the field, right? And I think I get it now, man. After you do it for so long, you just kind of get used to it, But I am excited to see how the matchups play out for sure. Carly, what do you think? How are you feeling about this? How we just hit us with it?
So real quick, I just about had a heart attack because I went to turn on the TV and thought that maybe I wasn't going to get the broadcast. And it was like, what the crap? But I found it. It was a little down the screen. We're good. But no, I wasn't nervous until today. I think kind of similar to Jacob. Like I don't ever get the pregame flutters. Like I get excited, but I don't get nervous because I try not to let the outcome of a game affect me like emotionally. But today, like all day, I have just felt like wired. Like I feel jittery. I feel like, oh my gosh, what's really happening? So yeah, I'm there.
I got you. Completely understand. Let's see. Brent in Indiana says Packers 27-20. Joe Barry saves his job. Half of the Packer fans got really excited, and the other half got upset just now. the latter part of that message. Good to see you in here, Brent. Appreciate you swinging through, buddy. I know Jake Shavink's in the house too. He said, let's ride postseason football. So excited, Jake. So excited. So we had some videos surface here of, I can't remember who it was. I apologize. But, some of the insiders on the field showing Jair warming up right here. So you get kind of the close-up shot of him, right? Looks pretty healthy. I don't see any kind of limp, any kind of limitation. Now it's when he walks off the field, he's gonna let them know, yeah, it's hurting, right? Or whatever it may be. But to me, looks pretty good there. We also got kind of a zoomed out version here of a couple of different drills. This is what I was talking about with the cheerleaders on the field. The job was like, "Yep, let's go test it out right now, boys." But he seems to be all right, from the eye test, right? I mean, got good bursts. I don't see anything there where he looks limited. Here's a nice little strafe test. Now, this is the back pedal. You see the back pedal, right? Good to go. So I would be surprised if he's not active, to be honest with you. We should find out any second now. I haven't seen any videos there of Christian Watson yet, but we do have a video from Jane Slater, who covers the covers the Cowboys for NFL Network, and she touches on the injury update real quick. Let's see what she had to say.
Rich, a lot of rich history between these two. And look at where these franchises have gotten themselves this season. The true difference maker might be injuries and availability. We'll start with the Cowboys. There were concerns about guard Tyler Smith as well as cornerback Stephon Gilmore heading into this week. Both entered this game with no injury designation, so that's huge for Dallas. As for the Packers, true 50-50 is what I'm told for Christian Watson. The wide receiver has missed 5 games with a hamstring injury. Told reporters this week in his head he's 100%, but that pregame warmup is going to be a big deal. How about cornerback Jair Alexander? Freak injury this week, rolling that ankle. I'm told also a game time decision. He's been getting round-the-clock treatment at the facility, and last night even slept in a compression sleeve.
There you go. You got the compression sleeve on at night. I think he goes. After hearing that, Jacob, does your opinion change at all as you let out a sigh there?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm riding an emotional roller coaster here. I think Ja looks good, and is Shaving talking about Watson having tape on or Ja?
I think they say Christian Watson was taped up for sure. I haven't heard about tape on Ja, which they both may be taped up, to be honest.
We talked about it in the beginning in the morning show, just about how I think that personally Watson and I don't know, and now I'm going back and forth because both of them are so integral to what we do, especially for this game. Ja being able to maybe lock down, and again, hey Tim,
took it down.
All right, cool. No,
Tim is totally drunk on this soundbite power he has now. Clayton, you're going to be regretting
like
that.
this. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Jair fan on the pod, so I got to represent.
He really is.
I hope he goes today. I think he will.
Yeah. What was you saying now, Jacob? You have anything else to add, buddy?
No, I was just going to say that I really think that it's going to be great if both those guys can play, and we didn't really touch on it, but I think that this is the most healthy this Packers team has been going into a game with only 3 guys that are Dylan's doubtful and we got 2 questionable. Other than that, everybody's a full go. I don't think that that's happened since week 1. I mean, I can't remember. We've had laundry lists of 18 plus guys that are maybe questionable or fighting injury. I think it's scary for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, all the pressure's on them. After everything that I've thought about and all the analytics and all that stuff, it's McCarthy's job on the line. It's Dak Prescott who could think about being traded. It's all these kinds of different things that are the Packers. We're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be. Everybody's expecting us to lose. So I'm back to being confident. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes and let you know if I change my mind.
All right, good deal. Robert in the chat said Watson wouldn't have tape. Yeah, it's rare that you do tape up a hammy. I have seen it before when you want to keep that thing as tight as you possibly can. But yeah, most likely probably the ankle that's getting taped up. That was probably what Jake meant by the tape for sure. Tim, we've kind of went around the horn here and got everybody's thoughts on how they're feeling, obviously right now going into the game. How are you feeling about it, Bob?
Oh, I feel confident as we can be with a young team. I really do believe we have a chance to pull off the upset and shock the world. I love being underdogs. I love the fact that nobody except for a handful of us Packer fans believe that we have a chance to win. And I love that our opponent seems to be overly confident, and so at least their fan base does. I mean, You talk to a Dallas Cowboy fan right now, they don't feel like we got a snowball's chance and of coming down there and getting the win. And I feel good today. I really do. We're battle tested as a team. We've been through so much crap this season, injury bugs, losing streak, getting all the wrongs out, figuring out how not to run LaFleur's offense. We learned from our mistakes, and we're as hot can be, man. And I think you hit it on the head. We got a lot of guys that are, fresh legs here, including our boy Showtime 33. So I think he's going to be an X factor offensively. And I think, getting some guys back defensively too, that maybe we're not quite thinking about. Isaiah McDuffie comes to mind. Yep. Hopefully he's a go and able to rotate in here with Quay and Devondre there in the middle. because like I said this morning, I'll say it again now, it's going to take everyone. It takes a village to beat the Dallas Cowboys today. We're not going to do it with just, one or two stars. So we need a game from everybody, and feeling pretty good, man. I think we got a chance to steal a win today.
I love it. It takes a village. It immediately took me back to my construction days. And when someone would do something stupid, we would always say, every village has got one. That's what we'd always say. Right? And if you don't think they do, guess what?
Guess who's the village idiot?
Exactly. Let's see here. Cody in the chat says, Ja, good to go. Heard on the Cowboy station. He's fist bumping Goody. There you go. Let's hope that's the case. We should find out here in a second for sure. Let's see. This is Kill Hut 702. Thank you for the super chat. Said lost some sleep. Too excited. Let's go Pack. Yeah, I slept like a baby last night, man. I'll tell you what. I woke up this morning and was just like, let's go. Let's go. We are. Take a sip. We're playing with the house's money, right? And I'm excited about Packernet podcast. Jacob, what did Ryan Schlip say here in the chat, bro?
He said, "Let's go!" And it sounds like, in addition, are you guys seeing this in the chat here? It sounds like we got Watson and Jair are a go.
Boom. M.
We got
Smitty.
the actives. Nice.
1386. You won the prize, buddy. He says Watson and Jair are active. Jen Wright came in second there. Oh, actually, Jen Wright was first. She said Warson is active. We'll count it. We'll count.
I think Doug up ahead there. He was up there with it. Doug says Jason Wildy says Watson and Jair playing.
Darn, Wildy beat everyone, so he gets the prize. So, he's going to be disappointed there's no prize, but hey, that's awesome. Watson and Jair both playing changes everything. It does. Yeah. And again, I want to see the old Jair, man. I want to see that Jair. I want to see Jair from the Rams game. That's what I want to see today. And again, we kind of looked at it. We looked at the analytics. We looked at the game plan, if you will, and Dak and these receivers for Dallas, they absolutely cut up man coverage. So I'm kind of hoping we come out and show them some zone match. And if that's the case, then you won't see Ja following too much. If on that opening drive you see Jair chasing a receiver around when they use motion, then we know, okay, they're saying, you know what, we can beat them playing man. So we'll see how that plays out for sure. Carly, you got anything you want to add real quick before we kind of step into the next portion of this conversation, which is hearing from Matt LaFleur back in October?
No, let's go.
All right, here we go. This was Matt LaFleur, October 29th. You guys know October was rough, right? If I remember correctly, that was the rough part of the season, right? The lowest of the low for the Packers 2023 season here. This was Matt LaFleur at the podium when they brung up, I think it was actually Jason Wilde, of all people, brung up about the youth of this team. And here was Matt LaFleur's response.
Is there a point where it can't just be young guys making mistakes, and these are things that...
Yeah, we're not even talking that game, young guys game. We're focused on just whoever's out there, the expectation is the same. So, we've played, 8 games now, or 7 games, whatever it is. I'm not interested in that. I think that's an excuse. We'll never do that. We're just going to continue to find ways to try to keep improving, and it starts in practice. And you get a good week of practice, then you go out and play well. And I do think the practices have been, competitive and such like that. But we're not obviously getting the results that anybody wants.
I love that. He really set the tone. He set the tone because everybody at that point were trying to give him an out. Like, hey, look, you're the youngest team in the league. He wasn't here. He wasn't having it. He wasn't hearing it. I think it's absolutely awesome. Jacob, I know you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you've been kind of up and down on LaFleur. At times you're like, man, I just want him to have a little more grit in his rear end, right? Like let's act like a football coach. I think you've seen that more this year than any other time he's been the coach of the Packers. But what do you think about what he said there? And I really do, man. I think that was a message like we always talk about. When a coach talks to the media, he's talking to his team. He was letting them know we are not settling for any excuses. I don't care how old we are.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur, I mean, I'll be honest with him. I have been up and down on him. And it's not ever been a question for me of what his talent is and what he brings to the table. He's a magician with the offense. And I think that his mind is very unique in the way that he can develop plays to get guys open. I mean, I've seen, we're so spoiled watching some of these routes and stuff because it shouldn't surprise everybody that Jordan Love is performing the way he has been, because the way that Matt LaFleur's offense has been designed is it's so quarterback friendly. We've talked about that, how through his career, he's made quarterbacks really shine, some of them to extreme levels. And I've never doubted that part of his game. The part that I've doubted for sure has been, yeah, that moxie, that kind of prowess that he holds. Maybe he's a little light, soft, kind of fancy boy eyebrow guy, right? I don't think that that's fair to say this year. And at the beginning of the year, I thought that he was putting on an act. And I thought, you ever see somebody try to act tough?
All right, hey, that's just the way we talk in the clink.
Exactly. But I feel like in the last 6 to 7 to 8 weeks that he has started to actually, whether it's he's been getting annoyed by the media or he's been getting annoyed by the haters and the doubters and a lot of the smack talk, I think that he has thickened his skin. I think that he has gotten a little more calloused. And you see it in the media, the way he talks. He doesn't play games anymore with the media. He just says, this is the answer. If you don't like it, basically shut up. And and even more than that, you see him in the locker room with the way he talks to the team. The team now thinks, you watch him with Rashawn Gary specifically on a couple different post-game stuff. Those dudes are emotional, but they respect each other. And you can see that the guys in the locker room are really respecting Matt LaFleur. And if that's the case, then win or lose, I think that this has been a great season, because I think that going forward, that young team, they've bonded to him. We've got another dynasty on our hands for the next 2 or 3 years.
I think you're right. That press conference right there, that presser, what was that, week 9, week 8? That might have literally been the end of shucks Matt LaFleur.
I think he got pissed off. I think he got pissed.
And we talked about that. You always said that. I love it. I steal that from you all the time. I like pissed off Matt LaFleur more than shucks Matt LaFleur. And I haven't seen shucks Matt LaFleur in a long time. So I like the chip on the shoulder. I hope we bring that chip into Dallas today and give him hell.
And real quick, the other thing we haven't seen from Matt LaFleur the last 4 or 5 weeks, nobody asks, hey, why don't you run Aaron Jones? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We should run him more. It's Aaron Jones had over 100 yards again. And he's like, yep.
Yeah, we haven't heard that. We haven't had to hear the why did you get away from Aaron Jones speech. Mm-hmm. That's great. Good point.
Yeah. Ronald in the chat says Aaron Jones is going to take it to Dallas in a big way. I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right. We get the actives, inactives, complete list here. And appreciate you hanging out with us in here, Ronald. So, Jair Alexander, Christian Watson are both active, and then inactives are A.J. Dillon, Malik Heath, David Long Jr., Benny Sapp III, Brenton Cox Jr., Caleb Jones. Malik Heath, listen, Bo Melton is doing unbelievable things right now. If you listen to Ryan's podcast from, I think it was earlier today, he was talking about Bo Melton and what he's done in this stint here, right, where I think it was since week 8, maybe since week 9, whatever it was, that sample size there. He's just been absolutely awesome. I think he was grading out darn near elite, if I remember correctly. So, Bo Melton just kind of stiff-armed Malik Heath and said, listen, kid, I know you're playing good, but I'm just going to step right into this role for a second. And it's pretty cool that you got that kind of depth there on the bottom half, especially with such young receivers. As far as A.J. Dillon, that could hurt, but, Aaron Jones, he's as healthy right now as he has been all year. And I think that's the main reason why you keep AJ shut down there too. They were limiting his touches anyway, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, what do you think, Carly? You got anything to add to all of that we just covered there?
Carly had to step out. She said she's just listening with her headphones on for a while.
Let's see, if I paid attention to the private chat, then I would know that. You know what I mean? That's just how we roll here, though. So, I thought it was cool, though, that Matt LaFleur kind of pointed that out for sure. Now, another conversation that's been talked about a little bit is Jordan Love's contract, right? I don't think anyone was expecting him to come out and play darn near elite here in the back half of the season. Like, you're talking about the numbers he's putting up here in the back half. You're talking about top 3 quarterback money if he continues to play like that. I mean, there's no two ways about it. And, I know we're all holding out hope that somehow, some way he'll give us a discount, right? And I love how we're always willing to spend other people's money. But anyway, this was Ian Rappaport talking about Dak Prescott's contract coming up as well as Jordan Love's. And, it's funny, too, because one of the things that doesn't get talked about a lot, when you sign someone to an extension, you really remove a lot of the motivation, when they're kind of playing for their career and how this Dak Prescott contract is structured, look at him. He has one of his best statistical years, if not his best of his entire career. He's playing for a new contract. Jordan Love, you gave him the extension. You gave him a little bit of security, right? And dangled a carrot with some guaranteed money like, hey, look, if it doesn't work out for you, at least you get this guaranteed money. And now we're looking at, yes, he's under contract next year. I feel like we have all of the leverage in that negotiation as it sits right now, especially seeing that we can then tack on 2 franchise years. Not that you want to do that, but that is a negotiating tool, obviously. But here's what Ian Rappaport had to say about it. Just a real quick video.
Bridget, both quarterbacks in the Cowboys-Packers showdown today could be very, very rich men this offseason. Let's start with Dak Prescott. Obviously, a lot on the line for the Dallas Cowboys. My understanding, though, is Prescott had quarterback. He did a Band-Aid extension before the season, 1 year, $22.5 million. That was in May. Has already earned $4.5 million in escalators, gets another $500K with a win. My understanding is the Packers and his representation are going to have a serious conversation this offseason about a potential new deal. Nothing can be done, Rich, before May, but do not be surprised if he gets paid again before next season.
So there you go. The little nugget there, I don't know if you heard it, but it sounds like Ian's got a little inside information that, hey, they're looking to have a conversation this offseason and try to get an extension put in place as early as May. I think, did I hear that correctly too, guys, that he's got $500,000 on the line? If they win this game, he can make another $500,000.
So, getting that bonus money.
Yeah, man. Hey, that'll keep the lights on in the winter months, won't it? Right there.
Yep. I think there's logic to your point too, Clayton, about, guys, you get a little more when you're, auditioning for a deal, so to speak, whether it's with your current team or, another potential suitor out there in the league. But I also think it's a delicate dance for these GMs to kind of also, you don't want to go too far in that direction because, a player, especially a franchise player, has got to know that the franchise believes in them and is behind them. And that can bring a lot of confidence to a young player as well when you step up and are willing to commit to them and show that you're the guy. You truly are the guy. And we all know we can say that and feel good about that all we want. Show me the money. You gotta get the bag at some point. And I fully expect something north of 6 seasons, 5-6 seasons plus, and probably several $100 million coming for Mr. Jordan Love here when it's all said and done. And I've been a fan since day one. I think he's earned it. I'm not shocked by the way he's playing right now. I think everything happens for a reason, and timing isn't always ideal. But he's really hit his stride here, second half of the season, and closing out strong. He's the dude. He's definitely the dude. And it would be interesting to see what the negotiations produce here. And this spring, we should know just how much money J Money's got.
Man, the second the season's over, there's going to be so much to still talk about. Jacob, go ahead. What do you think about that contract talk, man?
Oh, I mean, I love it. It's just crazy to think about. At the beginning of this year, we were really having the conversation if we should start Sean Clifford. And
right.
And I was one of them that was like, we should. I mean, I will take that. And I like Tim said, I've been a pro Jordan Love guy pretty much.
You wanted to see this. You did.
Yeah, I mean, when we drafted him, I was shocked. I had no idea what we were doing. But ever since then, I settled into it, and I've really, really thought. It's insane to think that how back and forth this fan base is. It's like anything. It's like politics. It's like whatever. There's just two sides, and it seems like no matter what, people are never going to budge from whatever original side they took. I'm willing to admit that I've floated around a little bit, and that I've taken. When the wind blows a little hard this way at the beginning of the year, I was like, loves the guy. After maybe week 4 to 5, I'm like, gosh darn it, maybe we should see what we have in Clifford. But I'm glad that I don't run major organizations that are in charge of multi-million-dollar athletes, because guess what? I'd be rocking it in Madden, but it's not Madden, man. It's just not a build your franchise mode. And like Marjon Cron, you can be pro Clifford and pro Love, but the thing is that you have to admit, no matter who you were, if you're still in love with Aaron Rodgers, whatever the case is, you have to admit how unbelievable Jordan Love has been playing. He is, when Ryan on that podcast shared what Jordan Love's stats compared to 2020 Aaron Rodgers, he's not far away from MVP one of his best performances of his career, Aaron Rodgers, and basically a rookie season, a full-on first start season. That to me deserves being paid whatever that guy wants to get paid.
Hey, I'm pro Sean Clifford. I'm pro Sean Clifford playing in garbage time when we're up 35 points. I'm all for it. Go out there, run the ball a few times, take a couple knees. Yeah, let's do it.
I love it, man. Let's see here in the chat. Had something I wanted to hit on here real quick if I can find it. So, TV Fanatic, I want to see the jaw that bodied up Jefferson last season at home. Here's the problem if you do decide to take that route, right? And if you guys would, hit that like button for us so other fans can find this channel, find this content. It'll help boost the algorithm. We appreciate you making us a part of your pregame festivities here. But TV Fanatic saying that about Ja. The problem is what the opponent you're playing this week, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, right? So when you come out and you look at it, we did a pretty substantial breakdown this morning on Good Morning Lambeau. The Cowboys wide receivers versus man coverage, especially CeeDee Lamb, 140.4 against man coverage this year. Okay, that's cover 1, that's cover 0, which is very small amount of cover 0 played, and cover 2 man, okay, which is 2 man underneath technique, 2 safeties over the top, split in half the field, but man coverage across the board. The majority of man coverage that gets played across the league is cover 1 man. CeeDee Lamb, 140.4, right? And, when you look at Dak versus man coverage, it's where his strength was, 111.7. Both of those numbers dropped significantly with the Cowboys offense when you're playing zone defense. So, yes, you like the idea of someone like Jair being able to shut down a number 1 receiver and let him follow and all that stuff. If you try to let him follow while you play zone coverage, you're going to have a mess on your hands, right? So, if you decide to play man coverage, you're playing right into their hand. Also, man coverage can be very vulnerable to playing the run because you've got your nickel, your slot defender, and sometimes your safety are more focused on their work. Like Coach LaFleur says, keep your eyes on your work, playing man coverage, that you're taking your eyes out of the backfield and watching the running back as opposed to zone. You're watching the snap, you're watching the quarterback, you're reading his eyes, you know where your spot drop is or your zone match principles are. It's a whole different ball game, right? So we just got to keep that in mind that this team, they absolutely light up man coverage. So definitely got to keep that in mind for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Jake Shavink says Jair dials up the Rams rookie game and shuts down Cooks. Maybe gives CD a few headaches as well. I'd love
took it down.
I want to see the old Jair, man. I want to see the old Jair. That's what I'm waiting for sure. SDM 40 says Watson with the fake 23 blast with a backside Georgia reverse on 2. I don't know if I know exactly what that means, but I trust you, SDN. It's funny how everybody's got different football terminology for sure. I'm sure Emilio would get it. I can tell the guys who played high school football and some college ball, they speak with those specific play calls, right? Me, the way I break the tape down, I kind of give you a general approach of, hey, here's the route concept. Here's the style of run. Is it zone? Is it gap? Is it pin and pull? That type of thing. So duo, what have you. But appreciate you swinging through, buddy. I'd like to see a big Christian Watson reverse myself. That would be nice. Cody in the chat said this Cowboys station apparently think our quarterback's name is Jordan Lewis. They are going to learn his name really quick. Hey, Andy Reid didn't know who Jordan Love was either, right? He found out, didn't he, Tim? He found out real quick.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Exactly. Cody said Jordan Lewis was said multiple times, laughing emoji. So I don't know, man. I just love that everyone has disrespected this kid, right? And I usually don't go in hard on people on Twitter, but I'll tell you what, poor Adam Shine, I do feel bad about it, but I roasted him on Twitter this year because he was just like, it sounded like a personal attack on Jordan Love. It's like, he can't play football. I'm like, we haven't seen him play football. What the hell are you talking about? Right? And then he comes out and he's basically the best quarterback in the league in the second half of the season. Just wild.
Can I mention one other thing, too, that Ryan highlighted? In that same chunk of time that he was talking about as far as Jordan Love being so great, did y'all realize that in that same chunk that we have 3 top 20 receivers that are grading out as far as PFF-wise?
In that same time frame,
charge, yeah. I believe it's Wicks, and then was it Reed?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the case. And then that's saying that we're not even talking about Watson and Dobbs. And then we got guys like Malik Heath that we're so healthy at wide receiver. We're just like, hey, bro, why don't you just sit down for this week?
Yeah, what's wild about that too, Jacob? He was just talking about that specific time frame, right? Like it was whatever it was, week 6 on or week 8 on, whatever it was. I actually showed a statistic the other day that both Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks are top 10. Both of them are top 10. Jaden Reed's number 6, Dontavian Wicks was number 9, and in receiver rating, which is passer rating when targeted. So, Ryan broke down how elite they have been in that short window of time. And if you take the whole body of work, right, the body of work for the entire season, I'll be darned if they're not grading out, right there in the top 10 with receiver rating. Now, is it everything? No, but it shows how efficient an offense is operating when they're targeting those specific receivers. And the other thing that we uncovered, Dallas obviously plays a lot of man coverage. They play a lot of middle field close. Cover one man is essentially what they play. That's a large majority of the time. I'm excited about Dontavian Wicks. I'm excited about Jaden Reed, but both of those guys eat against zone coverage. Guess who the guy is that eats up man coverage for the Packers?
Scoot.
Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs.
Too, I think Scoot on the boundary if he's going to go.
If you put Scoot out there stretching the field and you have Dobbs work in the middle, I'm telling you, man, Dobbs is going to be a boundary receiver with either Jaden or Dontavian Wicks in the slot, right? Him working that backside dig off that slot cross that we've seen all season long. And last week, another concept they added in, it's similar to a slot cross. They went with the number 1 from the outside looking in from the offense's perspective. Okay, imagine you're the quarterback. On the far right side of the field, they had 3 targets. Okay, so you go from the outside in, the outside receiver is the 1, then the 2, then the 3. They went 1 dig, 2 corner, 3 post. So when you think of the slot cross concept, you've got a crosser with the backside dig, right behind it, kind of trailing it, and you create 4 windows to pass in on both routes. And you can kind of pick your spot right there. When you throw in that corner with it, not only are you walking that safety out, but if they're in some kind of zone match, that corner on the outside has now got to occupy that deep third. Look at all the room it creates, especially if that number 3 is pulling out that middle zone or that middle man, digging them out with that post. That backside dig is just what we refer to as running butt naked through the trailer park, right? I mean, it's just wild.
This receiving is tough.
It is, and I'm glad I don't have to be in shape to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, we actually had QB1 on the field down there earlier. It is my man warming up, looking good. Just got the hoodie, nothing flashy. I love how the Cowboys guys were walking in the stadium with these big diamond field gold chains and everything, and George's just out there look like a college student. Look at him. So, yeah, I got an exam after this. Let's get this game over with, right? So, love that dude, man. Guy, he's such a humble guy, man. Such a humble guy. Another guy that we see walking into the stadium, too, is our boy, speaking of humble, bang, look
there
at
it is. Dub incoming. We got the sombrero going.
He said, we're back in Texas, baby. Back in Texas. For those of you who don't know, he played at the University of Texas, El Paso?
UTEP. He said, yeah. You know how Texas is, right? That's like, depending on what part of the state you're from, it might as well be its own part of the country. So I think Aaron Jones has got a mission here to rep El Paso today in Big Dallas. So anytime you see the sombrero, man, you know it's go time for sure.
Yeah. Trevor Anderson says in the chat, even without a playoff win, J-Love is about to get paid. I agree. I think he showed enough that they're going to try to get that contract in anyway. Now, if he goes out and balls out and takes them to the divisional round, woo-hoo, back the Brinks truck up, baby. It's coming.
Yeah.
Go get that money. Yeah, absolutely. David in the chat said Love could earn $500,000 today. That's what we were talking about. Yep. Go out there and grab that $500,000 with a win today. And then Raul in the chat says, go Pack Go from Spain. I'm not going to try to say it first.
Raul. That's awesome. Checking in from Spain.
Jacob, do you really know how to pronounce that? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's Raul Zambrana. Yeah.
No, Spain.
No.
Oh, Malaga?
Malaga?
Yeah. Malaga.
Back home, we just say Malaysia. That's Malaysia, Spain. There. You can add the J in. You can add the G sound or the J sound in anytime you feel it's necessary back home. Nobody's going to promise you. No one's smart enough to correct you, so you can get.
Where's Emilio?
You guys like those jalapeno peppers there back home, huh?
Exactly. Speaking of jalapeno, man, I got the chili baked up there, boy. It's looking good, right?
Woo, you got it going, Clay?
Bro, I already had a bowl. I put that last dab in it from Hot Ones. Oh, my God, it hurt me so bad. But we've also got – have y'all ever had candied jalapenos?
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh, dude, if you like hot stuff, Tim, they're jalapenos that are basically canned in something sweet and lovely.
See, I like a little bit of the heat. I can't do
It's not
too much, man. It'll set your mouth on fire, man.
I tried this one chili and it set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
I guarantee you that young man says Malaysia, Spain. I know it. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
There.
What else we got? Let's do this. Let's go around the horn. I'm gonna put y'all on the spot as I leave the man with the sombrero up here. I think I know one of you guys are gonna pick him. Let's start with you, Jacob. Who is your pick today to just have a breakout game? If you think, okay, the Packers won this game, let's just say they won it. Who is it? And they're the reason that the Packers won today. Who would that player be? And tell me why you think they might have a breakout game here.
It's going to be kind of a weird, quiet one, but I think it could be Quay Walker. That depending on how he plays today, and one of the reasons I say that is because Jake Ferguson, the tight end for the Cowboys, he's second in the most targets on that team, which is kind of low key. People don't think about that. So, and the Packers have been kind of suspect to defending against tight ends. We're 23rd, I believe we're allowing, 105.8 rating on average to tight ends. That's not great. So, if everybody's focused on CD and possibly who's the other guy? Cooks out there, on the boundaries and stuff that we could be forgetting. And we've all been, I'm sure, far too many times watching the game as we're seeing guys just pick us apart over the middle of the field on those, little dump off routes. And just, I don't want that to happen. So in my opinion, if we could get Quay really shutting down some of that stuff, sticking heavy on those tight ends and at least just keeping stuff in front of him. And if he could show up in the run game as well, I mean, Tony Pollard, he's only averaging four even yards per carry. So if we can stuff him, force Dak Prescott to be a quarterback, Gary on the other side actually putting a pass rush in, pressure pick, coverage sack. Is that what we talk about?
There it is.
What we need right there. And I just think that if Quay can be the guy, that stout guy in the middle, and undercover McDuffie, I think that he could show up and really play. I don't know what role he's going to play, and if he really, if McDuffie will even see the field whatsoever. But I really do think that Quay keep his emotions in check. I would love to see him. Also blitz him. Let's blitz him. Let's make him look like Micah Parsons this game. I want to look at that.
Nice. What do you think, Tim? How about you, buddy?
Well, I see the chat's going to take Showtime. So shout out to the chat. I agree with that offensively. I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. Jacob, we're even now. You stole my thunder. I was going to go with Quay. Yeah, but I will say this. I'll go ahead. Elephant in the room. Jair Alexander, man. We get a game out of him. Like we're waiting to see. And what better time to do it than in the playoffs? Banged up or not, ankle injury or not, man, you show up today against CeeDee Lamb and these boys down in Dallas, man, it'd be huge. And Jair can be that X factor. I truly believe it, because when he plays well, man, this defense, we're better than we look, man. I know Joe Barry's caught a lot of heat this year, but Joe Barry's been dialing them up lately. And, to your point with the blitzing, I'd love to see him send Quay. I'd love to see us get a little fancy there when we have the opportunity to maybe see a little nickel blitz, something out of our slot corner, something like that. Mix it up.
Tim, when was the last time that you on the morning show? When was the last time you remember us sending a corner blitz? I don't remember it.
Oh man, I don't think we've seen it this year.
Yeah, we have. We ran a nickel blitz with Keyshawn and actually got a half a sack. That's what I refer to as a cat blitz.
Was that the Pittsburgh game? Which game was that?
It was more recent than that, actually. It was just a couple of games ago.
Okay.
Vikings. I think it was the Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, Doug said Vikings, yeah.
And that's one of those things that you can, you're not going to do that with regularity.
No.
But if you throw that out at the right time and catch them slipping, they don't have a chip or an extra blocker over there, and you get a free rusher, go, run it.
Yeah.
Did you guys realize
it's another example too, where if you're playing man coverage and you fire that nickel, you got to have a safety cover that up now, right? Yep. So there's a lot more moving parts. What were you going to say, Jacob?
Nothing, just on the Keyshawn Nixon. That blew my mind. I think I sent you guys a picture. I didn't realize that Keyshawn Nixon was all pro again for the second year in a row in kick returning. In my head, I didn't realize he was having that great of a season, that he would be all pro, but for second year in a row, Keyshawn Nixon, all pro returner.
Yeah, he was picked by the players. This is the second year they've done that, if I understood correctly. And yeah, he's had a good year. It's just the rules. It's like what Ryan talked about going into this offseason. We finally start pumping money into our special teams to try to get that cranked up. And now they're changing the rules to where the special teams aren't going to matter as much. It's just bad timing. But Packer Up says, Clayton, we call that cowboy candy. Blake Berry in the chat says, Clayton, the candied jalapenos from Buc-ee's are the truth. Blake, they're from Buc-ee's, my man. That's where she got them from. I seen the tag downstairs. There's like 17 jars sitting on the counter, and I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be a good winner here, right? But if you guys would hit that like button for us so other Packer fans, other fans can this podcast, find this channel. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us for sure. Let's see. We had a super chat down there. Let me grab this real quick. Chris in with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you in here. He says, Pack 27, Cowboys 24. Of all the predictions we've seen so far, that one kind of feels like if you hold the Cowboys to 24 points somehow, some way, I could see us winning that 27-24. Now, we come out in the first half and they jump up and get 17 points real quick. Might be a long day, and Joe Barry might get his own flight back, right? That could happen any day now. But I like it, though, Chris. I think that's a very, very realistic score for sure. Tim, who was your pick again? I wanted to write it down.
Jair. I think Jair's going to be our X factor.
Got it.
And I'm with the chat too, with Aaron Jones too. It's definitely showtime for sure.
Yeah. And mine, the easy pick would be Jordan Love. I think we all agree that. I feel like y'all are trying to stay away from that too because he's just been balling out. Mine's going to be Romeo Doubs. I think that he just eats up man coverage. I think Jordan's going to lean on him a lot. Jordan plays man coverage really well, too. So I also want to see some Musgrave out there. I want to see our first tight end reverse. I don't think we've had one all year. I think that was kind of the plan with Musgrave coming in to hit him on some of those reverses. And obviously he's been banged up all year, so we haven't got to see it. Yeah, appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Let's see what else we got in here. In the chat, Mike Hebring says, I agree, Clayton. This is the game to stop the run and play zone in the secondary. Everything kind of points in that direction, Mike. But like we said, too, earlier today, man, they're looking at that info, too, and going, you know what? If they come out zone heavy, why don't we run a bunch of zone beaters that, they get paid to game plan, too. But based off everything I've seen, you beat them last year. This is what we were talking about, too. Like when you go up against division rivals and things like that where you're playing them multiple times a year and you got an opponent like this, you're faced with the task of, okay, last game we beat them, right? We played them well, we beat them. Should we keep doing what we're doing? Or do we go into that game knowing they're going to change things up? That's a real problem for coaches to have to game plan around, for sure. Let's see here. We got Robert Johnson with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He said, "Go Pack, go!" Greets from Barcelona, Spain. Man, we got people all over the place.
Spain is deep in the chat today. I love it.
I've got to get that map put together where we can chart, kind of put a pin on a map, on a virtual map. Show them where all our listeners are located. I think that'd be really cool, for sure. Carly Ray, actually, thank you for the super chat, Robert. Carly Ray says, Malaga. No, I think it's Malaysia. I got to disagree. So, and all of my redneck friends agree. Nah, we know Carly's right. She's the most intelligent person on this podcast. There's no doubt about that. Milto in the chat says Musgrave is our hidden gem. He is healthy and going to destroy Dallas D all day long. They won't be looking for it. Hey, sign me up, man. Sign me up. What if that happens, Jacob? What if Luke Musgrave comes out here? He's finally healthy. And he just cuts him up for 110 yards and a couple tuds. Wouldn't that be awesome, man?
Well, I was going to ask you a couple different times. Oh, hi from Argentina. That's awesome. Sebastian, what's up, man? I was going to ask you over the last couple podcasts, do you think that 12 personnel going against this defense has any benefit, especially being the fact that Tucker Kraft is playing the way he is, Musgrave's the way he is? Pick whoever your poison is that you want to put on the boundaries on the outsides there. Like, is that something that could maybe take away from the Parsons and the Lawrence stuff, or is that more going to be highlighting the strong points of their defense?
Let's take a look at it. So, like we pointed out, they play the most dime in the entire league, and what that tells me is most likely when teams come out in 11 personnel, they're probably going to dime in 11, and when teams come out in 11, they're probably going to big nickel. Now, if you look, big nickel, they're 32nd in the league as far as percentage of how often they run nickel in general. So maybe they are leaning completely on dime. right? And when you're a man coverage heavy team, right? When you're a man coverage heavy team, then you want your DBs out there playing man coverage. Now that makes you very vulnerable to the run. Some of the games that they lost this year, like I said, they've only got 3 quality wins. They got 3 wins against quality opponents, in my opinion, when I looked at their schedule. And I don't have their schedule pulled up any longer. But to answer your question, Jacob, if we come out in 12, what's that going to trigger for them? Will it trigger nickel? Will they go to their base? If you're telling me, even if we run 12 personnel, they're going to come out and dime, I absolutely love that idea, Jacob. You talk about getting the run going. 12 personnel against a dime defense, you got to be patient. And you can't see ghosts out there. What I mean by ghosts is Jordan can't come to the line. Okay, they're in a dime set. We're going 12 personnel. We're going to run it at them. Oh, look, but they're showing this. Let's do a pass. And then you've seen a ghost and play right into their hands. That's what seeing ghosts means when you hear players talk about there. It means they were sugared, they were tricked, they were duped at the line to see something that actually wasn't there. They seen a ghost. So, I think we haven't talked about that all week long, Tim. I think Jacob might have uncovered something there, man. Come out in some 12 personnel, run it down their throat, and force them out of that dime coverage. Then go play action off of that if they go to nickel and get away from what they're so comfortable doing.
I love it. And it goes hand in hand with what we've been saying for the last month now is, as goes Aaron Jones, so does the Green Bay offense. Yep. Get this man 20, 25 plus touches, get him moving. And, it's going to open up things like you just mentioned in play action in the pass game. And also don't forget, we can utilize Jonesy there with those swing passes too. Ball coming out quick. Try and neutralize this Dallas defense. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it sounds good, Jacob. I think you might have uncovered something there. Jake Shavink in the chat, cracking the whip, said way too many in here to have so few likes. Smash that like button. We appreciate that if y'all can do that for us, definitely. The other thing we want to make sure that you guys know about is tonight during the postgame show, we're going to be giving away an autographed James Lofton card, obviously a Hall of Fame wide receiver, played for the Packers in the 80s. We're giving that away. We're also going to be giving away our very first ever PTA coffee mug. So we got some merch set up now. So the second place winner, whoever claims the James Lofton jersey after we spin the wheel for our YouTube members, then the second place winner that comes forward will get the mugs. So there you go with that. And that's all for our YouTube members. Like I said, people that support the show that are always in here, and they click join on the YouTube homepage, the join tab. You can be a member of the PTA posse. That coffee mug's kind of cool too. Got the PTA logo, says Diesel on the side, and it's got posse in cursive over the PTA logo. So really excited. That was something that the listeners named themselves too, which I think is absolutely awesome, man. I'm not smart enough to come up with something witty like that for sure. Jam in the chat says Tom Clements should also get a tremendous amount of credit as a quarterback guru. Clements was also instrumental in Aaron Rodgers' development, man. It's so true, Jam. He's a member of the PTA posse. Appreciate you, Jam. It's so true. Tom Clements, man, he's just he's a quarterback whisperer. He doesn't get enough credit, and it's just like how Matt LaFleur not being able to win Coach of the Year because Aaron Rodgers was winning MVPs. It's like, guys, I mean, who was this coach? Who was, you know what I mean? And who else has he done it with? Oh, I don't know. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl as their OC. Oh, I don't know. Matt Ryan won an MVP when he was the quarterback coach. Oh, I don't know. Robert Griffin was Rookie of the Year when he was the quarterback coach in Washington, right? Way back in the day. So he's had success with quarterbacks everywhere he's gone. For sure. Trevor Anderson in the chat said, where can we buy the coffee mug? It's coming, Trevor. I think we got a 24-hour window, if I understood Carly correctly. Probably within the next 24 hours, that store will be up and running. We'll be able to get you guys the link, and you can go in there and buy some merch. Coffee mug's going to be first. I'm also going to create a hoodie, too, a PTA hoodie that's going to be sweet. So I know Tim made fun of me, Jacob. He was like, Clayton wants a hoodie? Just like, really? Like, that's all I wear, man. I wore it to our wedding. I wear them. No, I didn't wear it to the wedding. Man,
you sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that? You sure?
I would not have made it to the reception, man. Let me tell you. Mandy would have had me buried out back in her place so quick. But let's do this. We're at the 49-minute mark. We're roughly, 30 minutes from kickoff. So let's go around the horn one last time here, Jacob. There's the sigh. Jacob, you want a minute? You want Tim to go first?
No, I'm good, man. It sparked that 12 personnel in my head. It just seems like something that Aaron Jones, the way that he gets so skinny and the way he just knifes and he stays on his feet. I've never honestly seen a running back with such a weird, like, I just love the way he runs. He's so lethal, and he is powerful. When he comes to point of contact, he is powerful. We looked at Brian Baldinger thing where he falls forward. And I remember when we first drafted him, I always thought that it was amazing how he seems to fall forward and gain 2 to 3 to 4 more yards after contact, something I wish A.J. Dillon could do with that body size. But to me, I think A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, lean on him a lot. Don't make Jordan Love win this game. Let him just kind of be the maestro that conducts this beautiful orchestra that we've made here of young teams. Rub it in Mike McCarthy's big old face. Sorry, Mike. I love you for everything you did for us, but I want to send you back off to the tubs, man. You got to go. And I just want Jerry Jones. I want us to come in here and to make Jerry Jones's old life just miserable. And he's going to have to rebuild this whole thing, blow it all up. And it's going to be beautiful to see. Go Pack.
Watch me put a quarter in Tim. Walther, 6'7", CZ. It's funny, Walther. It makes it sound like I got a list, but it really says Walther, though, right? So some Dallas commentators are predicting 45-3 Dallas, Tim. 45-3.
Commentators in Dallas, huh? I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
Let's go, Tim. Parting thoughts, man.
I don't do the score predictions. You already know, but I'm telling you right now, there will not be a boat race. I feel good about saying that. So let's make the Dallas commentators look foolish. I'm at the point now where we're here, like we've been talking. It's time to stop the talking and play some ball. I'm going to repeat what I've said before. It's going to take everybody on this team today. Everyone's going to contribute in their own ways. I think we are going to see, especially defensively, we're going to see a lot of rotation. Looking forward to some of our newer role players, such as LVN, Kingsley and Egbari, these guys kind of stepping in and making contributions to lighten the load on our OG big dogs and Preston Smith and Rashad Gary. And, I hope everybody's on their game today. Like I said, I feel like this is, you talk about a breakout game or a re-breakout game. John Money, you are due, brother. Let's see it today. Tape that ankle up twice if you have to. And let's go, the ankle doesn't have much to do with knowing your assignment. So keep your head on the swivel out there and, play fundamentally sound ball and go out there and give our team a chance to get this win today. And I care not what the final score is. If we win by a point, I'll be just as happy if we blew them out. So green and gold till I'm dead and cold. Go Pack, go. Let's get that win. Send Big Mike home and do what we came to do. Shock the world.
I love it. Dakota in the chat says, I said we got 30 minutes to kick off. He said 30 minutes is too long.
That's what she said.
Michael, please. Please.
All right. And out-of-body experience, that might be Aaron Rodgers' burner there. He says, go Pack, go from Washington, D.C. Look at this guy sliding at the last. Tim, he always does it. We're off on time. We're ready to roll, and he slides in here and holds us over. Emilio, what are you doing, man?
I had to hop in real quick, huh?
Yeah, you always do.
Missed y'all. I missed you that whole week, man. I was thankful.
That's what she said.
I was thankful for for all the content you were pushing out for the drive home. That was clutch.
Nice. Put you to sleep, didn't it? Jordan had to drive it and put you to sleep. Yeah.
Not that snowstorm, man. I was a little white knuckle there in the morning, man. That was pretty Buffalo.
Bro, I was giving them a hard time. Can't believe they canceled that game. And they showed the video of the field, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't play in that.
Dude, I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. But
wild, man.
No, thankfully we're down there in Texas. So one Texas team got a win. Let's hope the second one doesn't. I know it's my dad's and sister's team. Hey, let them have it. But let's go Pack, go, and let's have some brisket tonight. I'm excited.
As far as pops and sis, I got to hit them with it.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
There, you let them know. All right. All right, we're out of here. Guys, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. I want to thank Carly for everything she's done behind the scenes, helping set the store up and all that stuff. She's awesome. Jumped on here early and talked some ball with us while she's over playing Super Mom. Tim, thank you for everything, dude. Every week we get ready for the kickoff. The last 2 weeks, it's all right. Appreciate y'all this season. It's been a lot of fun. And then we look up and go, I'll be damned. We got us another game to call. We got one more week. Get to keep the house for another week. Look at this, right?
I love it.
Appreciate y'all. This has been a lot of fun. Everybody in the chat, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Want to give a special shout out to Kill Hut, Dakota, and Chris N. and Robert Johnson. Thank y'all so much for the super chats. Y'all are too kind. We'll see you guys for the post-game show this evening, immediately following the game. Hopefully we're talking about a dub. If we're not, then we'll kind of talk about what happened, why did it happen. We'll set the stage for the offseason, and you won't miss a beat. We'll be here every day. That's the goal. Show every single day, even in the offseason. So thank y'all for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense. We ask our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet to get an isolation with the linebacker. Tell the tackle to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.